Greetings from the man who presides over the joint section of the Politburo, the Central Committee, concomitant the General Congress of the all-powerful vanguards to the Unification Party. Comrades, fellow Liberians, press men and women, today we have come here to do a singular task. A singular task we've come here to execute. And that task bears a lot of our reassembly into the street of Monrovia on August 24th. In continuation, so comrades, we've come here not to say so many things in voice, but to now try to translate the voice into action and deeds. On July 26, we officially launched the Face the Country campaign, a campaign geared towards ensuring the WIA regime pays attention to the maintenance of confrontations and problems the masses of the Liberian people are confronted with in the society, ranging from the issue of bad governance that constitutes corruption, lack of justice, the issue of insecurity, and the issue of institutionalizing thievery, precisely at the level of the legislature. Comrades, the issue of kangaroo justice system and the issue of setting justice in this country under George Weah. For these reasons, the 31st Central Committee and Politburo concomitantly, all head of a cadre Chairman Mustafa and Kane, launched the Fix the Country campaign that Mr. Weah needs to act on the AACC June 2022 report that indicted Professor Francis Ray, Director General of Legix, Wilma S. Smith, one of the deputies, and Lawrence A. Josh, one of the deputies as well. All those people indicted at Legix in the 2022 AACC report. Not just stopping there, but as part of having a transparent credential on the issue of accountability in this regime, we are asking the real regime to go as far as relieving Madam Janice Cooper of her position at the Ministry of Agriculture so that she goes and faces prosecution. Not just Janice Cooper, but all of the elements at the NBC, the National Bureau of Concession. Not just at the NBC, but all of the indicted elements at the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation. We are asking this government to act now or face the wrath of the masses of the Liberian people. On the issue of education, we are calling on the George Weah administration to pay heed. You all know the latest report of the people who sat was in this country. You have 65% of students failing the examination. And that tells you that the educational system is in debauch, it's in ruin, and it's in tatters. And the government needs to do more. So when we told Mr. Weah that the issue of independence celebration is worthless and insignificant, we were telling Mr. Weah that you need to stop the razzmatazz and the big jamboree. Take whatever money he wants to use for organizing independence celebration. Take that money and put it in education so that you strengthen the educational system, so that it works for the young people of this society. That's what we meant when we say to Mr. George Weah, fix the country. Yes, an economy cannot account for a single direct investment. We challenge Mr. Samuel 12 for an open debate on the protocol para. We want to say, we can come and debate the economy of the Liberian society. How this economy is not progressive. Oh yes, we can debate it. An economy wherein the issue of unemployment is not dealt with. Is that economy progressive? Macroeconomic stability, we've said this and we've argued on numerous occasions. We've argued. It's determined by three major and cardinal factors. Inflations, unemployment, and the issue of the GDP. When you took the GDP of the country at 3.26 billion, and then you degenerated the GDP of the country to 2.7 billion, is that progress or retrogression? In an economy wherein you cannot find other denominations of the Liberian dollars. In an economy where perhaps we only have one denomination of the Liberian money on the market, which is $100. How can that economy be progressive? In an economy wherein the government owes central banks, the Central Bank of the Republic, 435 million. Yeah. And the debt of the government internationally is over $1 billion. Is that economy prosperous? Comrades, when we talk about economy, we're talking about your daily encounter with the market forces. So for you, who perhaps you have not understood everything we said in the economic terms, when the economy is prosperous, practically, how much you pay for a scratch car in Liberia currently? And then just see how basic and major commodities on the Liberian market, they've increased in terms of prices. Gasoline 900 plus. So you telling me that you took inflation from 2 digits and you brought it down to a single digit, but the inflation that you have brought down to a single digit is not reflecting the well-being of the people? How is that possible? How is that possible? How is that possible? We want to say to Mr. Tue, on this parada, we will create the forum and will create the atmosphere where he will be called to the pedestal and answer questions. We can cross-pollinate and argue the variables. But again, since they've done lesson, August 24, we also again. And another thing is insecurity. The issue of mysterious debt and secret killing in Liberia is becoming a new normal. Or has become the new normal. When we say it's becoming, probably it's in evolutionary stage. But when we say has become, it has been consolidated. It has been consolidated. It's not part of the system. But we as a people, we are made to live with these situations. And then you say we should be happy. In a society wherein young girls and babies are raped to death, and there's no justice for these people. In a society wherein people will go on the street to protest within the confines of the Constitution. Article 1, Article 15, Article 17 of the Constitution of Liberia. Not just stopping there. The African Charter on Human and People's Rights, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the issue of freedom of speech, assembly, and expression. These are fundamental rights. If you like, for those of us, we want to borrow in an American term, these are inalienable rights. Rights that are not given by human being to you. These are divine rights. So we say to you, we went in the street on the 26th, and every count that we had, as part of our 35 counts that we declared the Face the Country campaign on, we have banked thematics, solutions, and what government needs to do in terms of tackling these situations. But what did they bereft people that are presiding over the affairs of a state? So megalomaniac and paranoid people who are bereft to RDX. Oh yes, what did they? They will go on to armed talks. They will go on to finance paramilitary groupings under the auspices of whatever. And then in the name of coming to make the militants and the casuals of soup to be deterred and not to continue on this path of struggle. So we want to say, on July 26th, whatever situation happened will not be a deterrent for us as militants and casuals of the Student Unification Party. Perhaps the blood of our comrades wasted and spattered are the water that we are going to use to water the trees of liberty. We are inspired. We are inspired. We are well motivated, and we have armed ourselves with the courage to continuously struggle. So July 26 was the beginning, and continuously, what we can guarantee our people, you university students, is that this institution, perhaps you have not understood the history of this party, and that is the reason why sometimes you are bewildered. You don't understand. This democracy that we have was won on the tears and sweat and the blood of our comrades. And they have to pay the price. They have to pay the price. They have to pay the price. So today what we want to say, the only weapon that we have to struggle against these people, firstly, is the Constitution. We will continuously operate within the confines of the Constitution. This we can guarantee you as supporters, militants, adults of soup, and to the Liberian people and the people of the world. We have a greater role to play in terms of the maintenance and the sustenance of this peace and stability that we have. We know how it took, they know the life of over 230,000 of our compatriots before we have this space, before we have this atmosphere. So as an institution that was in Accra in 2003, to sign on to the peace accord, to ensure that peace and stability was restored to Liberia, we are under the monumental and revolutionary responsibility to upkeep this peace. This we can guarantee you. But one thing, in our defense of this peace, when you say you want a peaceful nation, and then you can find out injustice, it means that you don't want peace. You are not a man of peace. Because peace and injustice, they are opposite lines and variables. They cannot work intertwinely. One is counterproductive to the other. You know that injustice is a potential threat to the degeneration of peace. Wherever there is injustice, there is no peace. So we sit in a country wherein we are made to believe that learning at the University of Liberia in CPFD bearing is a good thing. There is a country that we in, wherein the president will take money in less than 3 months. The president will pay for himself 49 condominiums. Then you want us to believe that we should lay in this dirty building. Or is that why you want us to believe? You say you have an invasion on the university campus. Take a tour around the campus. See the GS building. Go to the graduate school. Go to the law school. What has been changed here? What has been changed here? They want us to be made to believe and be happy with this situation. When McGee will go on, in public areas and say to the Liberian people that stealing is welcoming insofar they use part of the loot that they do to the state and share with the people. You take comes after pillaging the resources of the country. You take comes and you share with the people and you say that development. Is that development? You build a prosperous society based on the aspiration, the needs, and the hope of the people, in that you empower them so that they be part of the reform, the restructuring of the state. That's how you build society. You support education, you support healthcare, you support developmental programs, social development programs, youth opportunity. That's how, because when you empower people, they feel more reliant and they feel more pressure to contribute to the building of the state. Who told you? Nobody needs to knock on the door of any politician in this country or any member of the ruling clique before they can survive on a daily basis. That's a progressive state. When we talk about development, that's what we mean. People be independent, self-reliant. Or you think, by giving people comes every day is development. You go build Mercy project, then you say in the name of, bringing development to the people. No. For some of us who have read and who have understood the context of development as in economy or in the developmental study, we know what development entails. You cannot transform a society without the broader participation of the people. The people need to participate in the structuring of the state. That's how they build society based on the hope, the aspiration, the heritage, the culture, and the dignity. Every progressive nation that you have in the world today, these nations were built on their own civilization, on their culture, on their heritage and their tradition. What we have in Liberia after 175 years. So today we say to you, the chairman of the Student Unification Party, Kadir Mustafa Nkane, is going to relaunch or put into orbit the Face the Country campaign for August 24th. We will address, and as a matter of fact, we have a series of things to address in our press statement. So at this point, we ask all militants of the Student Unification Party to be very vigilant. Very vigilant, we want to emphasize, because there is a concocted plot by the regime to be carried out by the National Police to invade the University of Liberia campus to have us apprehended in the name of carrying out to investigate, investigative panel or table. The Student Unification Party, emphatically, we want to state, we will not be part of any kangaroo investigation that is obtaining at the Liberia National Police headquarters. We will not be part. An attempt for parties to arrest any of our militants, you will face the wrath of the Student Unification Party. This we can guarantee you. Those who were seen in videos and on photos, brutalizing Waters Sisulu and the rest of the other comics, the 13 comics who got badly injured, they are the ones that you should be fast speeding their investigation to set the outcome of the investigation to the Liberian people. You know what happened? The regime was saying situation she can't handle. This situation has generated serious pressure for them, and it has exposed them to the entire world of what Liberia is under Georgia for the last 5 years. Oh yes, a society where rule of law is not guaranteed, human rights violated, you know for yourself. So we'll be calling on the international community, in fact, America, not to have Georgia going to America. A man who's part of the blood of peaceful students must not go to the epicenter of democracy. So at this point, we also encourage Mustafa Kane, chairman of the all-powerful Student Unification Party, who will be giving an official position statement of the Revolutionary Student Unification Party for August 24. Amanda! 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 So, Mustafa Kane
Vanga Student Unification Party, University of Liberia, Capitol Hill, Monrovia, Liberia. Sub calls for an independent investigation of the July 26 violent saga. Testing says herself for the incident that took place at the AMEU University. Categorically calls for a mass citizen action rally for the continuation of the Face the Country campaign on August 24th. Comrades in the redemption struggle for the dignity of the oppressed people of our country, the Face the Country generation militants of the Vanguard Unification Party, at the local student radicals at the state-run university, conscious progressive militant of the Vanguard Unification Party, progressive journalists, fellow compatriots. The Revolutionary Vanguard Unification Party calls for a speedy, impartial, and independent investigation into the bloody July 26 saga that is to be headed by the Independent Commission on Human Rights, the Independent Interreligious Council, the Council of Churches, Neighbor Partners Center, Cali Relief Services, Human Rights Watch, President Liberia, and other well-meaning human rights institutions to properly investigate such an unfortunate incident that took place on July 26 during the Independence Day celebration of the Republic of Liberia. SUP also want to use this medium to categorically distance herself from any violence action, particularly the incident that took place at the African Methodist University yesterday. The Vanguard Unification Party, as you are aware, is a peaceful institution founded on the doctrine of social justice, academic freedom, and peace. SUP will pursue justice for our colleagues in a very peaceful manner. We will now retort to violence and get involved into anything related to violence. All those involved in the saga at the level of the AMEU University They are not militants of the Vanguard Unification Party. Let us make it very clear. All those involved in the saga at the AMEU University, they are not militants of the Vanguard Unification Party. Officially, the party has made a complaint to the government of Liberia, the Ministry of Justice, to the AMEU administration concerning the involvement of the Roman Barry into the brutalization of our colleagues. And we have visited the school. We've been having cordial working relationship and conversation. So under no condition, people will hire under the government of supers to go and cause chaos and lie in the name of the Vanguard Unification Party. As you are all aware, we were here going to classes. The Secretary General was offended, and under no condition, we will be offended at the same time on AMEU campus. Those who are doing this, they are under the instruction of a diabolical political plan by the regime to undermine the position and the advocacy of the Vanguard Unification Party. Since the party has exposed the regime so badly, the citizen government is now putting members in khaki or putting anyone in khaki to go on AMEU campus and cause violence. So we will not do that. So has now done that. So we remain peaceful in seeking justice for our comrades. We also want to use this medium to score one the compromise partisan police headed by Colonel Suru to stop playing gimmickry with the resolve and tenacity of the conscious Liberian people. For all information we have gathered so far, it is well established and documented that the Liberian National Police aided and abetted in the brutalization, torturing, and humiliation of our colleagues. We saw the police on live video. They were making mockery and they were having gimmickry while peaceful citizens were brutalized. That was orchestrated on July 26. Some scholar believes that the LP lacked the ball, the span, and the moral rectitude to conduct an independent hearing into this matter. So we are calling on the LP to stop calling our phones, to stop embarrassing students of the University of Liberia, particularly leaders of the Student Unification Party, calling us for a conversation on who be perpetrators and who be victims, to go to the table to have conversation. We will not have any conversation or any investigation with the NNP without the involvement of the Independent Human Rights Commission and all the entities that have been elected in the press conference by the Vanguard Unification Party. Because of this, the Student Unification Party want to be emphatically clear that SUP will not subject any of its militants or leaders to such a kangaroo hearing being organized by the monstrous and discredited police force. SUP will not be a party to the shenanigans of an investigation that is currently ongoing at the NNP, whether it is on the bloody July 26 Independence Day violence that led to the brutalization and humiliation of our comrades, or the so-called stage managed incident at AMEU yesterday. We want to be categorically clear that we have no confidence and trust in the police. The only intention of the police is to capture the leaders of the Student Unification Party and provide torture as well as arrest us and incarcerate us for no reason. Therefore, we will never sit before a police officer who mocked our comrades while they were being bedraggled in bloodbath, brutalized, tortured, and humiliated. So we ask the Liberian National Police to keep in constant contact with our lawyers and have conversations with our lawyers going forward, because the Student Unification Party is a reputable institution and have some of the best legal minds. However, we encourage them, as well as the President of the Republic of Liberia, to constitute this independent body so that the investigation can start. The police have all it takes to prevent such barbaric acts of peaceful brutalization of students on Independence Day. Inspector Pajo Suru allowed the police to be used as a fanatic group against the forces of dissent. Super never said under a Turkish police inspector general who organized and orchestrated the brutalization of our comrades in line with the gangster CBC COP. Therefore, we will only adhere to an independent and impartial investigative panel, which must be comprised of the following institutions aforementioned by the Student Unification Party as a body of trust, including international partners such as ECOWAS, the U.S. Embassy, the Swedish Embassy, etc., etc. Comrades and friends, soon furiously France on the weird tyranny for the persistent brutalization and ruthlessness against student leaders, as well as critics of the government. The militants of the Student Unification Party are peaceful students and will continue to raise our voice. And our voices must be heard by our leader. It is behooves to hear President we are speaking 6 days after the brutalization of the militants of the Student Unification Party. There is an other insensitivity to the plan of the Liberian people. And so hereby take President Weah's statement as very, very belated. In order to save face, he must now constitute the independent body so as to have an independent investigation. So once the rest are clear,